I got an interesting question for you all. If Yuffie was to get ranked in the soldier program, like based on her current skills, strength, and everything put together, where do you think she would rank? Do you think she would be a third class, second class, or first class soldier? What do you think? Like, this Shinra Electric Power Company has like their own beings or fighters in their ranks. You got your soldiers, your Turks. Where do you think she would rank? Do you think she would be third class with Roche, or higher, second class, first class? Like, what do you think? Just a quick question before the video gets started. The strength of the ninja of the group. Oh, my bad. I'm trying to talk about Yuffie today. Let's get it. She's basically the Naruto super ninja of the group that has absurd weight behind her blows. Technically, in the Final Fantasy saga, these two sagas are technically the same concept, but I'll be focusing on more of the newer entries, the ones that have graphics that are better, obviously. Because even though it's the same concept, when it comes to overall story, there's definitely some changes in the story, and there's definitely some different moves that got taken out, got added, totally different gameplay style. Like, it seems like the Final Fantasy saga isn't like in this remake mood. Like, so even though these two are technically the same concept, I won't be using stuff from this, but just mainly focusing on this because it kind of matches the new remake saga graphics more, a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's more recent-esque, Not to mention the new saga deals with different worlds and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I just want to stick with the new stuff for now. Different versions of the same characters, See, when it comes to this Final Fantasy world, it's a little bit different from our real world. Like, the United States and places like that don't exist in this world. Rather, like, their world does have continents and stuff, but like, it's not the same continents we're used to, But there is a place that is full of ninjas in this world. Yuffie is from a place that's like that. That's why she's kind of like the ninja of the group. Matter of fact, this is how Yuffie met one of the main characters, Zag, when he was in Wutai. Like, you can literally see how the place looks. Looks like a Japanish type of place. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Yuffie, she's been young, she's been older, she's getting stronger as time goes by. She's in training. I mean, I'll just let her introduce herself. She's good at doing her own intros.
My name is Yuffie, materia hunter and elite ninja operative for the interim Wutai government. I left my beloved homeland behind to bring an end to Shinra's reign of terror and prove that Wutai's not to be trifled with.
Even though this world is different from our world, they still have the standard stuff that we're used to in different forms of fiction. They have their own version of the government. Like, Yuffie has her government, other places have their government. You know what I mean? She's one of those characters that's obsessed with these super orbs known as materia. That, yeah, these things are very important on why certain characters are powerful. Yuffie's no exception to this. She can use these orbs to do super versatile stuff. Matter of fact, when she got in contact with the crew, she noticed right away that the different materia that the crew had, she noticed it. She's obsessed. But due to her nature and her training, Yuffie is one of those characters where she can do versatile elemental stuff without necessarily relying on materia, because she's kind of like a Naruto character when it comes to using ninja arts, or one could say ninjutsu. A great example being that she can pretty much use all the major elements with just straight ninjutsu without even counting, like, using materia. Like, in this occasion, it looks like she could use her ninjutsu to actually produce like a flood of water or a tornado of water, for example. Like, literal water kinesis. Like, you see the little logos of her little ninjutsu art around her, implying this is ninjutsu, not materia related. But back to materia. See, these super orbs in this universe, the materia, they're basically these orbs that contain knowledge from these ancient beings known as the Ancients, or the Cetra. It's the knowledge that connects us to the planet, or connects beings in this universe to the planet. It also allows them to tap into the planet itself, like the actual Earth itself's planet's power. That's why they can use magic and stuff like that. Yuffie is one of those people. So yeah, she can use elements using materia if she wants to, but she can also use elements or ninja arts to do superhuman stuff other characters in this series can't necessarily do because of her ninja training. I have no idea why the writer said she couldn't use energy blast here. Is her ninja arts not energy blast, or her using blast with materia not energy blast? Like, what do they mean? Like, what? Confusing moment. I mean, she's the reason why this guy, Johnny, got cloned. She can do the shadow clone jutsu type stuff because of her incredible ninjutsu. Like, she can literally make a bunch of clones. Ninjutsu, you even see it happen in cinematics, so it's not a gameplay mechanic type of thing. A lot of people get confused on what's actually part of their lore and what's gameplay mechanic. Like, this is a full-blown cinematic. She does this type of ninja arts or ninjutsu. Like, here, it seems like she did like a substitution jutsu, made two things trade places with one another. I mean, just look at her fingers, like ninja art type stuff. She even does the classic ninja poof away with the smoke. She can also create clones of herself to fight, so you gotta worry about two hers punching you. I mean, there's even moments where she suggests maybe we should just make clones of everybody to help us out, There's even implications she can make a clone of her doggone shuriken, like how she made two of them here, for example. Like her weapon, making clones of her weapon to hit you double. Isn't that an unfair combination? See, when it comes to these orbs, orbs that contain the planet's knowledge and power, one could say, these orbs, it's kind of realistic for her to be obsessed with it because she believes the more you get, the stronger you become. I mean, it makes sense. Not bad logic there. Just like other characters with these super orbs, she can summon outside help. One could say summon mythical beasts to help her fight. Mythical beasts that appear in cutscenes, like they hint towards their existence, like they're real beings that exist in actual full-blown cinematics. Yuffie can do this type of stuff too. Summon these entities to help if needed. See, when Mako energy, the lifeblood of the planet, Mako is the lifeblood of the planet. When it's condensed, it turns into materia. So yeah, she's obsessed with materia, but also she's a ninja, so she does a lot of ninja type stuff. Like, you see the weapon she uses, her gear. Looks like this one huge shuriken type of weapon. The way Final Fantasy works, since it's kind of animated a little bit, you can get strong even as a normal human if you work hard enough, depending on the severity of your training. And when you connect your mind and body, one could say that can help you push to new heights. Like in this occasion with Zack, he pretty much says the mind and body acting together as one, you can achieve amazing things. One could say this is part of the reason why Yuffie's strong, because Yuffie's not like a super enhanced entity like some of these other beings being enhanced with Genova cells and stuff like that. She doesn't want people to forget that she's a ninja. She's very passionate about it. I mean, she even does a similar run to the Naruto. She even will do ninja type stuff like assassination. Like she even says, there's like super sculptures that all ninjas have to climb. This could be part of the reason why she's so strong and has endurance. This is a good occasion of her ninja type of eccentric type nature. Like she will legit try to do literal assassination, stealthy type stuff. Totally stuff a ninja would actually do. When it comes to physical stuff, she's stronger than other physical beings. Even when it comes to their jaws, there's like this running gag to show how strong she is. She eats these like T'Chao beans, while other beings, they try to do it and they can't. They hurt their jaws trying to do that. Literally saying they're insane. I guess in a weird way, this can kind of let you know on who's the superhuman people of this universe. If they can't eat these T'Chao beans, they're probably not superhuman like her. Like you see how he can't even bite it, but she can. She even roasts sand foreigners in their weak jaws, so she's way stronger than average humans. But other beings that are superhuman like her, like other ninjas, like Sonan eat him, he can easily eat him just like she can to show that he's superhuman too. You know, it's like a gag. Not to mention, when you pay attention to her cutscenes, she just casually endures falls that realistically should be lethal. Like she just casually withstands falls like this and just lands on her feet. Like, matter of fact, even Chatley noticed about her substantial muscle mass for her stature. Apparently she could withstand getting slung through structures like this and get back up. It's little stuff like this people don't even notice about how high she literally can just jump, like ridiculously high in the air. Like she's superhuman physically. With all this stuff in mind, she can hit hard, all this superhuman stuff, all this elemental enhancing type stuff. She can punch or strike hard with her weapon, without her weapon. Like normal humans, she can easily just knock out with just blunt kicks without even using her weapon. That's how hard she can hit, because she's just not your standard human. She's a ninja from Wutai. When we are talking about her gear, she can easily curb stomp beings that are armored up. Like imagine being a grown man and a teenager just blitzing you and y'all get curb stomped with ease. Even if you outnumber her, it doesn't matter. Just get one-shotted. And the weight of her hits, you see her send beings flying. Realistically, they should be getting cut up with blood and stuff. Don't judge them, though. You can see clear evidence of the weight of her hits on how she mixes in her attacks with her physical blows, not just her weapon. You can just tell she can just hit hard in general. Like, you can literally see in cinematics on how hard she can hit. Like this super mech, you can see her hit it downward like this. Let's be honest, her punching that giant thing downward like that pretty much confirms her hits are heavy enough to easily punch through thick brick walls. Her being able to punch this hard is like a no-brainer, ain't it? After seeing that big mech. I would even go as far as say her hits are so heavy that she could definitely topple a building based on this giant mech she can just hit down like that. There's certain cutscenes with Yuffie that imply that when she throws her weapon, she can like imbue it with energy. Like you see how it starts glowing here when you see her throw it? You know what I mean? This could imply she can imbue her weapon with energy. This is like a common thing. We see Cloud imbue his weapons with energy, Mako energy and such. Maybe she's imbuing it with ninjutsu energy, you know. One could possibly look at it, part of the reason why she can hit so hard is, of course, off her physicals and stuff, and of course her being able to use materia to probably enhance her attacks even more. But one could say could it be partly because she's pretty fast when it comes to fighting speed and reflexes and everything. Because along with being able to withstand superhuman impacts, there's clear evidence of her fighting speed. A great example on how she's just able to zip from one opponent to the other ridiculously quick before they can even hit her with bullets. Not to mention her teammate that's Wutaian too, who can deflect bullets like you can literally see. Sonan. So I'm pretty sure she can do this too. Because we literally seen beings fire bullets at her and she doesn't even have her shield up yet. And after the bullets are already fired, she can put up her hands fast enough to block the bullets. So yeah, she definitely has superhuman and bullet speed type reflexes, and then can blitz them before they can do anything, before getting shot. Like seriously, none of them can hit her. That's how fast she is. Because of combat speed. Right here, they even start shooting before she even puts her guard up. And yeah, you get the idea. She can just block bullets. Like, you see him literally deflecting bullets. Both of them can when it comes to fighting speed. Like, I'm not trying to say every Turk is equal to each other. They all have their own specialty. But when it comes to, like, fighting speed, we know Yuffie and the party has gotten in scuffles with Turk, like high-level fighters in the Shinra, of course. Similar to how soldiers work for Shinra and, they're elite fighters. You got your soldiers, you got your Turks. They're also ridiculously strong fighters, superhuman in nature as well. Yuffie's gotten in scuffles and fights with these beings, these superhuman beings. Don't forget that one of these superhuman beings, Reno, for example, was stated to have lightning-like speed. It might sound like an exaggeration, but when we see him visually fight in cinematics, Reno seems accurate about his lightning-quick movements, like actually being literal. Like, all the Turks move like at burst type speeds. When we see them fighting Cloud, of course, this is not necessarily Yuffie here, but you see him literally to zip like lightning streak kind of sort of, and they still can compete with them in fighting speed. These Turks, this seems accurate. Even if these Turks can only do this for short bursts, that would still imply that Yuffie has to compete with these sort of fighters in speed. I mean, not to mention she's a valuable asset to the party in general. She has to be a good fighter. I mean, it's an implication she has lightning fast reflexes based on her physicals and stuff I've shown you with her ninja training. And let's not forget that Cloud has actually reacted to things that are apparently laser beams. Like these things Rufus shot, apparently things that are as fast as light. Cloud and company can react to such things while they're mid-flight. So wouldn't her reflexes or fighting speeds be somewhere in that range too, Meaning that her reflexes and combat speed in general would be way more impressive than just lightning level at the best. She can react to light speed attacks, which will make her several times faster than lightning. Like, here's the thing. I don't want to say she's like equal to Cloud or something, but she's not that far off. I would say she's a valuable asset to the party. I mean, she even saved Cloud here, for example, to show you that she's pretty strong, a good member of the group. There's like no official grid on who can hit harder between this group, but let's be honest, Yuffie's one of the better fighters of the group, I would say, when it comes to physicals and such. Like, I'm not really trying to start a versus match, guys. I just want you guys to hear me out for 2 seconds. Like, when it comes to power, like, even if you don't want to say she's necessarily equal to Cloud, I get it. Like, he's the main character. Like, you don't want to assume that. But, like, she can't be that far behind. So I would say the grids, this is no exact math, would look something like this, her being up there with the heavier hitters when it comes to how hard she can hit. Is that fair? Right? I mean, look at these occasions. When the crew is getting captured, she's the reason, thanks to her ninja arts and her being able to do substitution jutsu, she was able to help put a bomb in these devices that Hojo had, this super smart being that's a part of Shinra. She was the reason why these devices blew up. Yeah, the Shinra Electric Power Company that be using Mako for their inventions and stuff, like this same company. Like, you see the divisions right here, for example. Hojo's smart. You got a director of advanced weaponry division, Scarlet. We've seen Yuffie hit hard enough on certain situations where Scarlet was using her super mech, for example, and she was able to do this, stagger her, to stop her, like just with a shuriken throw. So the weight of her hits are pretty hard. When she can take on beings, in Shinra, like this super weapon mech, the one Scarlet always pilots. She even took this on while she wasn't a part of the crew with Cloud and them. Like, it was just them two versus this mech. It just kind of lets you know how strong she is in general for her to be able to take these things on her own. Not to mention helping the party against these type of things. Like, in this particular occasion, actually getting the win over Scarlet in this mech. Not to mention, I would like to assume between the games, she would improve things upon the mech. She even said overhaul, like implying that if we was to see this again, she would improve it. And guess what? Yuffie's even petty enough to bring it up, saying, you remember this Wutaian Savage? Like, you remember our last fight? She gave you the hands. But this time she got Tifa and Aerith on her side this time. And this is more than likely a better version than the one Yuffie fought before. And you guessed it, as a group, they gave this mech the business of messing up Scarlet's stuff again. Like, when the party's working together fighting different creatures, guess who's right there next to Cloud? Like, you see Cloud right here, guess who's there? Yuffie is. So it lets you know she's not a featherweight in comparison to these beings. I mean, you got to look at the fact that, okay, you remember how I brought up materia a little bit earlier about how she can summon mythical beasts too? This is like the older games, the saga and timeline stuff, but there's implications that these Final Fantasy characters can hang with actual summoned mythical beasts. Stuff like this seems to be the case for Yuffie as well. Considering that she's like basically a super ninja, there's implications that if she was to get in an encounter with some of these certain beasts, she would be able to hang with them with her attack, how hard she can hit, or her blast and stuff. I mean, she's not only a consistent help for the party, but she literally was helpful in, like, she can't just take on Sephiroth one-on-one, obviously, but she was helpful in fighting Sephiroth along with the rest of the group of the party. When Sephiroth was in this godlike demon angel-looking state, Sephiroth Reborn, because there was like these whispers, aka Arbiters of Fate, beings that literally try to control your destiny. Sephiroth in this scary state had command over these arbiters. Like, this Sephiroth was crazy. He was like fighting beings from different worlds all at the same time. But you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with the summons? Well, it has a lot to do with the summons. See, this being Sephiroth, she's literally, like, along with the rest, she got to fight him in this scary state. This dude, Sephiroth, literally made his own version. Thanks to him having command over the Arbiters of Fate, he literally created, one could say, his own version of a literal summon, but like he can create summons this powerful, like Bahamut, like a version of Bahamut. This is kind of crazy. Oh, you're probably saying, oh, it just looks like Bahamut. Not really. It has like a lot of similar techniques to Bahamut, even its energy blast, his flares and all that such. So yeah, they're literally technically fighting a summon. Yuffie's here too. Yeah, and these summons have like a history when it comes to their blast power. Like in previous games, like we've seen these summons in the past. Like there's different Bahamuts, obviously, but like a lot of them have a similar abilities when it comes to their blast power. Being strong enough to shatter mountains, one could say, cities. Like summons be drawing beings into their own dimension to blast beings, and their dimension has like their own version of the planetoids we know of, like their version of the moon. Like planetoid structures like the moon, we've seen Bahamuts do catastrophic damage to. This is the type of stuff that, like, Yuffie literally fought like Sephiroth version of like a Bahamut being that can produce this kind of blast power. If we assume these Bahamuts have similar durability to what they can blast with, Yuffie and the party are strong enough to hit beings with their attacks that can withstand impacts similar to their own, blast, if we assume that, unless they're glass cannons. Yeah, like I've talked about this before in my other Final Fantasy videos, but similar to how in the old lore, there's implications these beings can fight summons, the new lore implies they can fight summons too. Of course, I'm not really trying to use this as evidence really, but it's just a reference kind of sort of to show that this is kind of like a standard Final Fantasy thing, these beings being strong enough to hit these summons, damage them with their hits. With that being said, I got a question for you. Do you believe if she had the opportunity to clash with a beam that could mess up a big part of the moon, do you think she would be able to deflect it backwards or something? Like how Cloud and them literally went through the beam in older content? Do you think this applies for the newer content too? This kind of implies they still can fight summons and battle their raw energy output, even in the newer stuff though. You know what I mean? If you agree she's up there with other party members of the group and she can hit hard as these summons, she would be able to at least tremble or split mountains and such. If you agree she could hit as hard as them. I mean, there's certain summons, they state like this Titan summon, for example. Of course, Yuffie didn't fight this thing on screen, but I'm just giving you reference on how strong some of these summons are real quick. It was stated that certain summons like Titan can shatter whole mountains, and if you agree that some of the cast members can compete with them. I mean, Chadley kind of agrees that certain cast members should compete with certain summons, like he jokingly compares party members like Cloud to him, which Yuffie should be somewhere in the ballpark with, even if you agree Cloud has the advantage. Chadley was jokingly comparing swords with one of the summons known as Odin, which is stated to be able to cleave through anything in two, whether it be the fabric of creation or the time between the seconds. I mean, this isn't Yuffie, but let's just say Yuffie probably could have did this too, and this is like another summon situation. This is giving you a lot to think about, considering that there are certain summons that can actually rise whole continents from the attacks they produce, which would technically, in turn, if you agree that she can somewhat hang with these summons, that would mean her hits would be similar or somewhere in the ballpark of beings that can raise continents with their hits. Her attacks would feel heavy enough to, what one could say, sink or rise a whole continent from the ocean. Like, these different Final Fantasy continents or regions. I mean, you got summons out here talking about they got earth-shattering strength, not just continent shatter. Like, they talk about there's literal summons that can earth-shatter, apparently. And Yuffie literally fought on par with the other people, fighting a Sephiroth that literally created his own version of a summon, like Bahamut and stuff. Like, just get that through you guys' head. Like, she's a helpful asset with these beings that can threaten entire planets, or one could say sink continents and such. And Sephiroth just casually creating his own version of these same summons, when he's powered up by the Arbiters of Fate and stuff in this new Sephiroth Reborn state. Yeah, these Final Fantasy beings are insane. Yuffie should be no exception. This is not a versus debate. Not really trying to compare to Tifa. If you think Tifa's strong, if you think Cloud is strong or weaker, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying she's comparable. Somewhere in their ballpark, even if you believe she's weaker, not by much, And these beings are consistently fighting summons and hanging with them. Fighting a summon that literally Sephiroth created out of the blue from the Whisperers and Arbiters of Fate. Blah, blah, freaking blah. Part of the reason why she could be this strong is because she loves collecting materia, stuff from the planet, knowledge from the planet that actually gives beings the ability to use magic. This could be part of the reason why she can hang with such beings, along with her ninja training. But I want to hear what you guys think. She's a valuable super ninja for the party. She can battle and help battle beings that can easily level mountains, beings that can devastate cities. She has to be able to compete with these level threats with her knowledge of materia, ninja arts, and everything put together. She can battle these threats that are a threat for the planet, just like the other party members. What do you guys think? Your thoughts are more than welcome below. I want to hear your guys' opinions. Do you think Yuffie is extremely weak and you think everything I said in this video is BS? Just let me know. But before I get going, thanks for the donations, everybody. It helps out a lot. Believe it or not, respect Yuffie in the Remake saga. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.